What is up, guys? Name is Ray and welcome to another Genshin Impact video. So I'm currently live on Twitch, twitch.tv/DreGotcha Gaming. This is the second attempt to record this video. We're talking about RAIDEN Shogun today. And I was missing out on a lot of content during the last weeks just due to my exams. I tried to explain that to a couple of persons who already asked me, when are you coming back to streaming? When are you coming back with your content? So that is the time. I know that some of my viewers decreased during that time, but that's like still all right. I'm trying to get back slowly, and I'm taking my pace for that. So yeah, without further ado, let's hop in and talk about Raiden Shogun today. As you should know, so for the people that watch my channel regularly, the format is should you summon for that character. But in today's video, I want to do it a little bit different because I know most of you guys will summon for that character anyway. Most of you guys already should saw the teaser. If you didn't saw the teaser, I will put the link in the description down below so you can watch it. They introduced like 3 new characters, which is really amazing. miHoYo always like to tend to add in like characters that are gone. So if we look back at Zhao's trailer or Zhao's teaser, they also introduced 3 new characters. With Raiden Shogun, they introduced another 3 new characters. But up to this point, we never heard anything about those characters. So I think we shouldn't build up any hype as soon as they're on at least some information's given. So let's focus on Raiden Shogun and on her kit. Definitely make sure to catch me on Twitch and also on Instagram before we go, of course. Sorry for that, but I think that this is one more second that I need to talk about this. So on Instagram, I think I will put something like over here. I do announce the stream plan. I do announce like anything that I'm doing besides or off the camera on Genshin Impact. So if you follow me there, you will have like more insights in what I'm doing outside of the content creating if I play Genshin Impact, of course. So most of the content is still Genshin Impact related, as well as on the 1st of September and on the 2nd of September, where I'm going to summon for Raiden Shogun, farming for her and testing her. It will be from about 12 a.m. till 4 p.m. Central European Standard Time, of course, here on twitch.tv/DreGotcha Gaming. Okay, now enough talk. Let's get into her kit. Normal attacks, I think normal attacks is nothing too crazy, so I already took a quick look into that just to try to understand what I was missing. And normal attacks is nothing too crazy, just a 5 consecutive combo, charge attack. The charge attack is like not the same like Hu Tao and Zheng Ling, so I think that is at least something kind of new. And plunging attack also, so we do not really want to talk about normal attacks. We have just 5-hit combo basic. More interesting is the E ability. So I didn't got it 100%, I think. So if there's something of you that can help me out with fully understanding the E, definitely write it down to the comments. It would help me out a lot. So if we go over to the E, the Raiden Shogun unveils a shard of her Uthymia, dealing electro damage to nearby opponents and granting nearby party members the Eye of Stormy Judgment. This is the Eye of Stormy Judgment that was like clearly to understand. When characters with this buff attack and deal damage to opponents, the Eye will unleash a coordinated attack, dealing AoE electro damage at the opponent's position. So that means that you can use E and you can immediately swap into any other character that you like, and they will maintain with that Eye of Stormy. Characters who gain the Eye of Stormy Judgment will have their elemental burst damage increased based on the energy cost of the elemental burst during the Eye's duration. So the thing that I was asking myself here is, does that mean, like, for example, I'm using E of Raiden Shogun and I swap back to, like, for example, Jean? Does it mean that it is based off her elemental cost, which is 80, or off her elemental burst cost, which is 80? Or does it mean like the energy cost that is left to trigger my elemental burst? So let's say I have like 2 particles, 2 animal particles, which is equal to 18 energy. that would mean that I need 62 more energy to use my elemental burst. So does it mean that the damage is based off of that number, 62, when I have like 18 energy? Or is it based off the whole energy cost of the elemental burst? So the whole energy cost for Jean's elemental burst usually is 80, so that means it is 80. And if it is like for all other characters, if it is the same for all other characters, so like for example for Ganyu, it would scale off with the number of 40. With Zhongli, it would also scale off with the number of 40. Yeah, that was like the thing that I was asking myself. And it seems like characters who gain the Eye of Summoning, so it includes Raiden Shogun herself. So you can use that passive of that ability on Raiden Shogun or on any other character. But like just from reading through this, I assume it is the whole energy cost. So the full energy cost for your elemental burst scales off for this ability. The next thing is the eye can initiate one coordinated attack every 0.9 seconds per party. And then there is the next part that I also didn't got 100%. Coordinated attacks generated by characters not controlled by you deal 20% of the normal damage. So what does that actually mean? So if you use that, you trigger or you unleash the coordinated attacks for the character that is auto-attacking with Raiden Shogun's E, which could be Raiden Shogun herself or another character. But the eye can initiate one coordinated attack every 0.9 seconds per party. So how I do understand this, but that could be wrong though, is that if you can trigger 2 auto attacks in that window of 0.9 seconds, the first one will trigger the normal coordinated attack electro damage, and the second one will deal this. So I would say, or how I understand this is, if you can trigger more than one auto attack in that time window, if you like do 2 auto attacks in like 2 seconds, which you usually never do, so basically nearly every character, maybe Claimer uses, or besides Claimer uses, they can trigger more than 1 auto attack in 1 second. And that means that the first auto attack in this second will be this, and the second auto attack in that same second will be this part of the passive. While a Claimer user maybe is only able to do 1 auto attack per second. So that's at least what I understand. So correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I that's what I'm thinking is the way to go with that part of the passive. Okay, let's go over her passive ability. Chakra Desiderata. There are some kind of strange names. So, when nearby party members, excluding the Raiden Shogun herself, use the elemental burst, the Raiden Shogun will build up resolve stacks based on the energy cost of these elemental bursts. So, if any character uses their elemental burst, besides Raiden Shogun, of course, so this passive is stating that Raiden Shogun cannot trigger that passive for herself, so you need another character to use the elemental burst. So you have like these stacks, which you can see here on that GIF. And then we can build some stacks. Resolve stacks based on the energy cost of these elemental bursts. So yeah, it's the same thing that I was thinking here with the energy cost. So the maximum number of resolve stacks is 60. Okay, the resolve gained by Chakra Desiderata will be cleared 300 seconds after the Raiden Shogun leaves the field. 300 seconds? That's 5 minutes, guys. That's super long. So you can really maintain with those stacks very, very long. After unlocking the passive talent, wishes are numbered when nearby party members gain elemental orbs or particles. Chakra Desiderata gains 2 resolve stacks. This effect can occur once every 3 seconds. Alright, so it seems like you can really stack this as long as you want. Or as soon as it hits like the mark of 60. Because I mean, like, you will never fight 5 minutes. Even in the Abyss, you never fight 5 minutes. So you can always maintain this part of the passive. Also, you can also increase this one just by unlocking her passive talent, which you will do anyway because you want to ascend that character. But yeah, what are these stacks actually doing? Did I miss out on something? Based on these elemental bursts, the maximum number of resource stacks is 16. The result of gameplay will be cleared after unlocking the passive talent. Gains 2 resolve stacks. Oh, I guess that the resolve stacks will be they will be important now for the next ability. I think for this one, her elemental burst, Musu Shinzetsu. Gathering choose unnumbered and wishes uncounted, the Raiden Shogun unleashes the Musu no Hitotachi and deals AoE electro damage using Musu Ishin in combat for a certain duration afterward. Musu Ishin, wasn't that the E ability? No, it's not the E ability. What is Musu Ishin then? Like, there are like different Japanese terms that I do not know. So I know Musu Shinzetsu is the elemental burst. The Raiden Shogun unleashes the Musu Hinotachi and deals AoE electro damage. So you will get electro AoE damage in combat for a certain duration afterward. Damage dealt by Musu no Hitotachi and Musu Ishin attacks will be increased based on the number of Chakra Desideratas resolve stacks consumed when this skill is used. So basically, Raiden Shogun. Okay, it's kind of weird now. I think they're here. Raiden Shogun is a support character who can enhance your party's elemental burst damage. Because this one is an ability that Raiden Shogun can use and that everyone else can use. The passive is only stackable through other characters if you use their elemental burst, which is also really good. So you can swap into another character, use elemental burst, and you will get those stacks. And gaining elemental orbs or particles will also give you 2 resolve stacks. So you always want to have 60 resolve stacks when you want to use that ability. So that means that you want to trigger that passive and you want to start stacking, which shouldn't be a problem at all because it has a 300 seconds duration, and you can just stack your just put on resolve stacks infinitively. Also with the passive talent, it should be very easy. You get 2 resolve stacks. You can trigger elemental burst. So I would recommend like using some high energy cost elemental burst in your team and some low energy cost. So the lower energy cost, of course, to trigger them more often, and higher energy cost like just to get the balance into getting the resolve stacks. Now, next part, Musu Ishin. Oh, they're explaining what Musu Ishin is under here. While in this state, the Raiden Shogun will wield her Tachi in battle, while her normal charge and punch attacks will infuse with electro damage, which cannot be overridden. When such attacks hit opponents, she will generate energy for all nearby party members. Energy can be restored. Oh, now I do understand that. Of course. Raiden Shogun is there. So she's like a character that gives something to your party members to use it for herself. So this is a concept that I do really like and I'm missing on other characters. A character that can provide something to your team, but still is like a character that wants to fight for itself. So I mean, a bad example is Zhao. Zhao really wants to stay in his elemental burst during his whole duration. Same goes for Euler, and they do not really give anything that provides to the team. While Raiden Shogun can provide electro damage in form of her E, in form of a passive, and can give energy recharge to your other party members without you using them. So she provides energy, which they are also telling here on top, to the whole team. Now, when such attack hits opponent, she will generate, okay, that was what I was reading, and this effect can be triggered 5 times throughout this skill's duration. We have Cutie Avery, thank you for the following. Okay, now, while in this state, the Raiden Shogun's resistance to interruption is increased and she is immune to electro charge reaction damage. While Musu Ishin is active, the Raiden Shogun's normal charge and plunging attack damage will be considered elemental burst damage. Oh, it will be considered elemental burst damage. So this part, or this sentence, is very important because this will scale off with the new artifact set, with the emblem of whatever it is called, the new 4-piece artifact set, which gives energy recharge, which was introduced in Inazuma. So I really like her kit. Her whole kit works in itself. You have like this ability, which can give you like additional electro damage. It buffs your character. So this is an ability that is really good because it works outside of the elemental burst. Then we have that passive that really helps increasing the damage of the elemental burst. And then we have the elemental burst itself, which gives energy to other party members, increases your damage, and gives more energy to all of your party members. So you can really swap between your characters. The only thing, or there are two things that I'm asking. During your elemental burst, you infuse your attacks fully to electro. I don't know if that could be like a disadvantage, because like electro damage doesn't seem to be that strong in my personal opinion. But it is a thing as long as like how much do the stacks affect the elemental burst. If they affect that by a lot, then I think it is okay. And the second thing is, maybe I didn't figure it out, is if you use Raiden Shogun's elemental burst during that duration, does it stop the elemental burst, or does it require Raiden Shogun to be on the field? So that's something that I want to read through this quickly again. The damage dealt will be increased. Okay, resolved. While in this state, the Raiden Shogun will wield her Itachi in battle, while her normal will be okay. I think that means that Raiden Shogun has to be on the field during her duration. So that means if you swap, the question now is, but you use elemental burst, swap like to a character like Bennett, use his elemental burst, swap back to Raiden Shogun to attack. And definitely you shouldn't get the buff, because I'm pretty sure that this elemental burst should snapshot. So you shouldn't receive the buff from Bennett if you already used your elemental burst. But that is like the question. So you swap to Raiden Shogun, swap to Bennett, swap back to Raiden Shogun, or you're still in the duration of your elemental burst. That is something that we have to find out as soon as she comes out. And second question is if she infuses her whole damage into electro, if it is really that good. So yeah, I think her kit is very amazing. She has very cool, unique features, new innovative features that are not already in the game that we have to find about. I'm still skeptical, even though it is the Archon of Inazuma. But that's up to finding out how she really works. And for that, we have to wait until next week. So yeah, definitely make sure to tune in. Twitch.tv/DreGachaGaming. On that first day, I will farm for her. I will try to ascend her as fast as I can. And then we gotta test her. And if we're coming back to the decision if you should or shouldn't summon for her. I mean, for that character, I don't want to give a clear answer, because I know most of the people will summon for Raiden Shogun anyway. Only thing that people are skeptical about here is her electro damage. But I think Raiden Shogun, after Raiden Shogun, there's just Kokomi, a healer, and most people are not interested in pulling for a healer. And Raiden Shogun, she brings something new to the table. And if you want to ask me if that character is good or not, I cannot tell you right now. So you gotta watch until next week. Thanks for tuning in. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I see you guys next time. Bye.